Claire, welcome to Celtic. How does it feel to have signed for the club?
Yeah, really excited. Celtic, obviously, massive club. It's somewhere I've been as a fan many times, so to come in here as a player is pretty cool. So yeah, really excited about it.
Now, we're talking to you after you've had your first training session with your new teammates. I always wonder how is that? Is it exciting or is it nerve-wracking because you're having to show them what you're capable of?
Probably a little bit of both, to be honest. Like, it's good because I feel like I've been waiting for a little while now to get going. So in that way, I was really excited. But yeah, there's obviously a little bit of nerves settling in, but I think it's always good to get the first session over.
You obviously know a lot of the Celtic players, having played against them. There's also a familiar face in the Celtic lineup, Saoirse Noonan, an international teammate of yours. Again, is that something that helps when you come in your first day? There's somebody you already know.
Yeah, I think so. Like I was saying to the girls downstairs, it's funny because I feel like I know some of them, but it's just from playing against them. I don't actually know them personally, so yeah, it's definitely helpful to have a really familiar face in Saoirse. So that's nice.
Obviously, it increases our Irish contingent, and there's very few Irish men or women that don't have an affection for Celtic. So, how has the news of your signing gone down back home?
Yeah, to be honest, I've kept it pretty quiet. But yeah, I think people around me will be pretty happy when they hear the news.
Was that difficult then to keep it under wraps until it's all been signed, sealed and delivered?
A little bit, but I think it's important as well in case, yeah.
Obviously this Celtic squad, there's already some experienced players in the squad, the likes of Kelly Clark, Chloe Craig, but there's also quite a lot of young players. Are you hoping to bring your experience of playing football for many years to help them as much as help the team?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's a really broad dressing room in terms of like age, experience, where players have played before, and where they're from, which is class. So yeah, I'm just hoping to come in and bring what I've experienced before and hopefully help as much as I can.
In terms of yourself as a player, how would you describe yourself and what can our fans look forward to seeing once you start playing for the team? I
think first and foremost, really hard worker. I think, yeah, I'll always have my teammates back and I absolutely love to defend. So yeah, that's probably it.
Now, in terms of the SWPL, I mean, it's fair to say it's been one of the most competitive leagues in football in recent years. Yeah. You know, going down to last day drama. You've seen both sides of that, the joy of winning the title on the last day of the season, the heartache of losing it, and I take it you're anticipating more of the same this season? Yeah,
I think so. I think, like, I've been in Scotland now this is going into my 5th season, and I think that the league has grown every single year, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. So yeah, it's been really exciting the last, I think, 3 years it's been down to the final day, so yeah, I think it's only going to get more exciting.
Does that, in terms of you as a player, obviously if you win the league in the last day of the season, there's that joy and you can celebrate over the summer, but I suppose in terms of your character and how you bounce back from the disappointment, is that all helping you as a player in your development? Yeah,
I think so. Like, you're never going to win every game. I think there's always going to come disappointment, and it's really hard to end the season on a loss because you kind of go into your summer thinking, oh, like, it's just disappointing, whereas if you can end the season on a win, like winning the title or winning the cup, then it just makes for an amazing summer. So yeah, I think it goes both ways, but either way you have to just bounce back and it's a fresh start no matter whether you win or lose.
Obviously any new player coming in, you're having to meet new teammates and adjust to the way the team's playing. Do you think the fact you've been playing in Scotland for the last few years will help because you already know the league, you know some of the players you're going to be facing over the course of this season?
Yeah, I think so. I think it has its pros and cons probably, but yeah, I think it's good to be familiar with the league and kind of know the ins and outs of all the other teams and know what to expect from each different type of team. So yeah, hopefully it'll help.
Have you had a wee look at the fixture list yet to see when you're going to be coming up against your former team?
I have had a little look.
Is that a strange thing? Because you must have done that in the course of your career, that, you know, players that were your teammates suddenly you're on the opposite side of them. Is that how do you deal with that? Or is it just once you're over that white line, you're playing for the team whose jersey you're wearing?
Yeah, I think so. I think, like, I would like to think that a lot of my friends from football are friends outside of football, so it doesn't really matter what happens on the pitch. And I think we all have each other's backs, I guess, off the pitch. So yeah, it is going to be strange to play against players that I used to play with, but at the same time, I think that's just how football goes, and we all just want what's best for each other, and yeah.
I suppose the other thing as well, when you see professional players, even we were talking about your first training session, when you're training, you're as competitive because the reason you're playing football is because you want to win. So even like with your teammates, so I suppose that's the same thing when you're playing against friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's what happens on the pitch stays on the pitch, and then that's just the end of it. Yeah.
In terms of the season ahead, do you have targets either personally or collectively? Or obviously, whatever the team targets that Elena sets, but do you have targets that you set yourself?
Yeah, I do, definitely. I think for me, it's obviously a new challenge, a new club, new people. So it's just settling in as best I can and trying to positively influence the team as best I can, both on and off the pitch.
You mentioned that you've been to Celtic Park a few times, obviously just as a fan, and in the last few seasons the team's played games here at Celtic Park. Is that something that obviously would excite you, the prospect of having been in the stands to watch the team running out as a Celtic player? Yeah,
absolutely. I remember playing against Celtic here two seasons ago, and the atmosphere was amazing. It's like something I've never experienced before. So yeah, absolutely, I would love that.
Also mentioned that you've represented your country. Is that something that you would still harbour ambitions for and hope that we're playing well from Celtic, that you might get the chance to get back in the Ireland squad?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's been a dream of mine since I was a little kid. So yeah, that's never went away. So it's not something I think about or focus on every single day. But I think it's something that's always in the back of my mind. So yeah.
And we're doing this interview just as we're getting to the climax of the Euros in Switzerland. It's raising the profile of the women's game. There's been some top quality games. Again, as a player and as a fan, is that the sort of profile that you want the women's game to get, because people are getting to see some of the top players in the game?
Yeah, I think it's just growing like exponentially for the last few years. I think the Euros has been huge. I think it's a really good advertisement for the women's game. It's obviously really disappointing for me and for you guys that Ireland and Scotland aren't in it, but I think to be able to flick on the telly at night and see a women's football game, to me just still feels surreal. So yeah, I think it's a brilliant advertisement for the game.
And hopefully in the World Cup to come and then the next Euro, Scotland and Ireland can both be qualifying. Yeah. Finally, you're now wearing the green and white hoops, you're getting ready to start playing for Celtic. Do you have a message for the Celtic fans?
Yeah, just really excited to get going and can't wait to meet all you guys.